if you pass.
Hey there, Dr. A here, CEO of the Learning Liaisons. Welcome to our YouTube channel, and you guys are in for a real treat. In the upcoming video you're about to watch is a recorded session of one of my live webinars I just hosted on the General Knowledge Test Subtest Essay. So the first subtest of your GK exam, what I did is I took a prompt, I planned it, and I wrote it along with a few hundred teachers from across the United States doing online programs, and our teachers here in the state of Florida and college students. So I plan and I write an essay on the screen, taking the feedback and the suggestions from the group, making sure we're putting it together for a passing essay. So please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video so we can help as many teachers pass their essay subtest on the first attempt. Once again, my name is Dr. A, CEO of the Learning Liaisons. Enjoy the video. So I want to welcome everybody. I don't even know what day it is half the time. I think it's Friday, right? It's a Friday. So tell me if you guys, TExEs is a great question, right? So happy Friday, everybody, if that means anything to you. I'm going to go over all those questions. Denora, I see your question on there. Don't worry, I'm going to address everyone's questions before you get rolling here. But I want to thank you guys for spending time with me on a Friday afternoon at 3 p.m. I definitely guarantee that is not going to be time wasted. You guys are going to leave here, have a little bit of understanding of exactly what's expected of you when it comes to the GK Essay Subtest. So let us get rolling. Let me get my pencil ready here. I'm using someone else's iPad here, so pardon me. There we go. All right, so welcome. Some of you guys have been to our webinars before. Maybe you're already in some of our courses. My name is Jason Ampel, or Dr. A. I am the CEO and founder of the Learning Liaisons, educator myself. Been teaching since 2002 when I graduated with my master's from UCF, and I continued on with my doctorate in curriculum instruction. Graduated in 2009 with that. Been teaching at University of Central Florida since then, with the exception of the last year, doing a lot of traveling, working with school districts to do preparations for the GK and the subject area in professional ed. So I definitely missed teaching over at UCF the last year, but just know that you're in capable hands. I eat, sleep, and breathe teacher certification test prep 7 days a week, probably about 10 hours a day. I love what I do because I love helping you guys save your jobs or get into your college of education with your general knowledge. So you guys are in good hands. Just want to do that quick welcome so you know that I'm not some crazy person just sitting here in my office doing random stuff for you. So we do specialize, especially when it comes to the general knowledge test. So before we begin, a couple of housekeeping items, and I'm probably going to address all of your questions right here. So here's a few things for you. Number one, you're going to get access to this recording. In the past, when we do webinars each month, we'd email you a special super secret page with the recording, but this is probably our 10th or 11th webinar we've done in the last 2 weeks, and we got a bunch more planned for next week. So to make things a little bit easier, we're uploading all of our webinars to our YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I'm going to give you that information here on the next screen, but I would definitely subscribe to that. This way you get notifications. We've got about 9 or 10 already up there, and I'm actually in the process of uploading our math 6 through 12 that we did yesterday. That'll be up there here in the next couple of hours. Just takes a long time to upload that long of a webinar, but just know it's going to be there. And hopefully this one will be there by tomorrow. I'll be back in the office tomorrow, and I'll make sure that I get this up there. So just to repeat myself again, this webinar will be on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to that. Like I said, I'm gonna give you that information here on the next screen. Next, yes, you can ask questions. I am here for you. My job is to make sure that I bring some clarity and understanding on how to practice the right way when it comes to the GK essay. If it is something that is off topic of what's on the screen. So for example, if I'm planning out our introduction, don't start asking me questions about conclusion, right? Hold those till the end. If you feel like you're a person that's like, oh my God, if I don't write this down, I'm gonna forget my question. I want this guy to answer it. You'll see on the bottom of the Zoom room, there's a little folder, or actually a little chat bubble. It says Q&A. If you click on that, you could put questions for me. And what I'll do is at the end, when we're done, I'm not gonna run off. I'll cycle through and answer all your questions. So once again, the Q&A box is for any aha questions that pop up that aren't on topic right now. Throw those in there and I'll tackle them at the end. But obviously, if we're having a conversation, I'm gonna ask for you guys for feedback and talking points and things to write about. go ahead and use the chat box for that, okay? Next point, we're gonna be here till about 4:30. And the fourth one, I bolded for you because every time I set up these webinars for any of the topics, I always get a bunch of people email and say, I'm so excited, I can't wait to come to your webinar and go take the test. I hate to break your bubble, but attending here today is amazing. You're gonna learn a lot. However, it's just a small piece of the pie. So this alone is no way, shape, or form going to prepare you for this exam. I'm just being 100% honest because there's a lot to going into the essay, how they grade you, more important stuff about the structure, transitions, what you actually need to do to nail this thing. So we're gonna go through and plan and write one pretty quick here today, but just know this is a start. So at the end, I'll give you information on how to practice that. Next, and this is not a made up number right here. I know some of you guys might have read ahead and go, holy crap, what is this guy putting on the screen? Only 39% of teachers in the state of Florida or college students pass all 4 subtests of the GK on the first attempt. So I'm gonna repeat that for you. Only 39% of all people who take the general knowledge test, college students and classroom teachers, only 39% pass all 4 subtests on the first attempt. So there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, this test changed in 2015, where it used to be one big exam. So if you're really bad at writing and really good at everything else, it compensated and you can still pass. But in 2015, they segmented into 4 different subtests. So that's one of the reasons why numbers dropped, but they're going up each year. The second biggest reason, I've been doing this for 5 years, 7 days a week. I can honestly tell you that most teachers, and you guys fall into the same group, no offense, just prepare the wrong way. There's a certain way to prepare for all these certification exams, especially when it comes to the essay. I'm gonna get the ball rolling here. But if you're a person that says, I don't know why I failed this thing, I've taken it 2, 3, 4 times, and everybody looks at my essays and they tell me they're good, well, that's great. You could be an amazing writer. You could be an amazing writer. Heck, I've personally tutored one-on-one people, professors who want to go in the classroom, they have to pass this test still. They fail the GK essay. Published people who've written books, published journal articles. It doesn't matter how great of a writer you are, you've got to write according to how they're grading you. And that's what I'm gonna get the ball start rolling for you. So to combat all those people that are thinking, I've written an essay a day for 30 days, I'm ready. No, you're not, because if you're not writing it the right way, you're never gonna pass this, and it's gonna make a very frustrating situation for yourself. So just stay tuned today. I'm gonna get you guys going in the right direction. Next one, if you guys are in any of our courses already, or have attended any of our other webinars, you already know our thoughts on study guides. Study guides, my opinion, and this is of my research and my numbers and us doing this 7 days a week, study guides are the one of the number one reasons why people fail these exams, because nothing you get in any book, I don't care what anyone tells you, is not gonna look anything like the real exam. So I'm sure many of you guys have succumbed to that reality on different exams. Maybe this GK test where you studied everything and you went to the testing center and you're like, holy crap, nothing on this screen looked anything like all the money I spent on that product, on that book. This is a racket. They're trying to steal my money. I'm sure if you guys can attest to that, throw a heck yeah in the chat box, because that's pretty much 100% of people that go in to take these exams, because the expectation is what you're studying in the guide is going to prepare you, but it's all about concepts and strategy. So I'm going to introduce to you today briefly my GK essay blueprint. The key to the blueprint as you follow along is it doesn't matter what prompt they give you. I don't care what the prompt is, that you follow what I'm going to show you here today and how I'm going to teach you how to practice at the end of today's session. If you follow that, it doesn't matter what they give you on test day, you're going to be able to nail it. All right, so just trust me on the process here. We're going to get the ball rolling. Next, make sure you have your phone ready, because I'm going to give you some slides on the screen that you're definitely going to want to take a picture of, that we're going to utilize throughout the session, and then some things at the end that you're going to take a picture. So if you have your camera phone with you, have it with you right now, ready to go, because we're going to get to the first camera opportunity right now. So like I mentioned before, all of our webinars that we're doing are being uploaded. There's about 9 or 10 of them already. I got one from yesterday. I'm going to put this one up here tomorrow. All you have to do is open up your phone, right? Literally, you're not going to take a picture. Open up your phone and point the camera at that QR code, and it's going to automatically open up a page with our YouTube channel. So I'm going to give you guys about 30 to 60 seconds to do that now. Just open up your camera, point it, don't take a picture, just point it at that QR code, it's going to automatically open up a window and it's going to redirect you to our YouTube channel. You want to subscribe to that now. If it doesn't work on there for whatever reason and you like old school way, the URL is right there on the screen. All you have to do is go to YouTube, put in the search box, the Learning Liaisons will come right up. So you definitely want to do that. I'm gonna give you guys another 30 seconds to knock that out. This way you'll get notifications when I upload this to our YouTube channel. While you're doing that, I got a couple people that are trying to get into the room, so I will send them the information. You guys are in trouble. I got my Red Bull going here. All right. Who did it? Who subscribed? Who's ready to go? Awesome. Perfect. All right, let's get rolling. So to answer your question, Jennifer, when it redirects you there's a button on there, a subscribe button to the channel. All right, let's get going. And if you didn't do it, not a big deal. You can do it later. I'm not trying to take any valuable time away from what we're about to talk about. All right, so are we ready? Let's get started. So real quick for all of our newbies that have never taken the GK before, here are the 4 subtests. We're gonna do the essay. You got ELS, which is your grammar. You've got reading where they give you 6 or 7 passages and you have to analyze them and answer 7 or 8 questions for each. And then the almighty mathematics section at the end. So today's session, we are going to focus in on essay. We've actually got our reading session next week, and that's a free webinar too. On the same page you found this, you could sign up for that one as well. So we'll talk about that more at the end. This is what you want to take a picture of also. Is anyone here in my GK essay bootcamp or essay practice prompts course? If any of you guys are already in it, this is in there, so you don't have to freak out. You probably have it printed out, plastered on your wall, right? I'm just kidding. But if you don't, take a picture of this right now. We're going to use this for the rest of the session. We're going to go back and forth. So that reminds me, let me go ahead and grab mine off of the packet right here real fast. Actually, no, I know my memory. It's all right, I don't need it. So you want to take a picture of this. Real quick, if you notice, introduction, this is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. I created this about, to answer your question, Brenda, on your screen, you can maximize it. This is as big as it gets right here. So you can maximize it on your screen. Let me make my video a little smaller. All right, 4 sentences in the introduction, 5 in the second, 5 in the third, 5 in the fourth. That's it. All right, to answer some of those questions, they don't count your words. There is no length grading on this thing, but it's all about appeasing the graders. So as we all know, 2 people grade your essays. You need a score of 8 to pass. The rubric goes 1 to 6. We're not going to get into the rubric stuff. That's stuff that I talked about in a previous webinar. You can check it on the YouTube channel. And I'll also go into extensive detail in our essay bootcamp on our website. So if you have questions about that, I can answer that at the end. So the key that you need to understand before we move forward, and that it doesn't matter what prompt they give you, if you follow this, you will pass. A few times people reach out and say, I followed your blueprint, Dr. A, but I didn't pass. They send me a draft and they didn't follow it. So it's all about following it to a T. What we're gonna do here today is we're gonna plan an essay and we're gonna write it together. You guys are gonna tell me what to write about. We'll kind of focus our thoughts and we'll have a finished, completed, passing essay at the end, and you'll get access to the recording. So don't freak out. If you missed anything, you're gonna be able to go back to it tomorrow and to watch this again. So once again, take a picture of this slide so you have it on your phone while we are going through this. So this is your dry erase sheet. So during test day, as you know, and if you didn't know, now you know, you get a dry erase sheet. This is something, a tool that you use for every subtest. So when we talk about the essay, we're gonna use it to plan. So what do you think those dashes represent that I put on the little dry erase sheet on the screen here? What do you think those dashes represent? Yeah, pretty simple, right? I just went over the blueprint, the sentences. This is your planning. Now I'm gonna say something right now that's gonna freak some people out, probably all of you, right? You're gonna practice what I'm gonna show you. okay? But just know that at the beginning, at the onset, this process I'm about to demonstrate for you is going to take you a long time. It might take you 20, 30 minutes to do it, and that's fine. But it's all about practice. Practice, practice, practice. When you get good at it, the process is still going to take you 5 to 10 minutes. So just know that walking in, but this is going to help you pass and be done. You cannot be a diver on this exam. A diver is a person that just jumps into their paper, writes it all out. When they're done, they go back and make edits. You got 15 minutes on this essay, you cannot do that. People who do that have to go back and take it numerous times. If we plan the right way and take that time up front to plan out all our thoughts according to the blueprint we're gonna go over, then it's mindless at the end. All right, so if you take about 10 minutes or so to plan it out the right way, like I'm gonna show you, all you're doing is taking your notes, turning them into full sentences, one by one by one, and at the end, you're done. And the last 5 to 10 minutes is all about changing some misspelled words, maybe changing some vocabulary, maybe you gotta fix a sentence or two. But the worst position a teacher could be in, which a lot of people succumb to, is that they go back and read it and go, holy crap, this first paragraph makes no sense, or a second paragraph, or so on, and they rewrite stuff. You got 50 minutes, it goes by like that. This is not like college, ladies and gentlemen, where you write something one day and you can go back the next day and make fixes. You got a lot on your line. Either you're a college student here who has to pass this to get in your ed program, or you're a classroom teacher who has to pass this to keep your job. Either way, high stakes, we need to make sure we get it done on the first try, okay? So here's the prompt that we're going to use here today for our discussion. So if you want to take a picture of that, take a picture right now, because we're not going to really go back and forth too much. And that reminds you, I'm going to take one too, so I don't have to move the slides back and forth. Let's do that. There we go. All right, see, I'm doing it just like you. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to take a picture of that. All right, hopefully you got a picture of that. I'm gonna keep it up my phone here because this is a new prompt. I've never written on this prompt before. I've got a course online that has about 12 prompts on. I'm gonna add this, I might add this video to that one too. For those of you guys who have access to my practice prompts course, I'll probably add this video to that as well for you guys. Does that sound good? I'm sure that sounds good for you guys who already have access to that. So I'm gonna read it to you, ready? Some schools believe that online learning is a critical aspect of student preparation in the 21st century. Some believe that online is advantageous, while others do not agree. Analyze the advantages and disadvantages of this type of learning. How relevant is this nowadays, right? So let me read that one more time. Some schools believe that online learning is a critical aspect of student preparation in the 21st century. Some believe that online is advantageous, while others do not agree. Analyze the advantages and disadvantages of this type of learning. So the first question, in 1 or 2 words, what is this prompt about? What's the topic of this prompt in 1 or 2 words? You guys tell me, what is the topic in 1 or 2 words? Easy, right? Online learning, right? Not online studies, because it doesn't say online studies, online learning, not virtual learning, online learning. All right, we want to use the words from the prompt, okay? That's the topic. Now, we have to analyze this and think about what the topic is, and the next question is the claim. So some of you guys who are in my course already know what that means. The claim is what's going on. It could be a problem, it could be a solution, it could be an issue. So in a couple of words, what is the claim that is stated in this prompt? Yeah, good, Amani. Very good. First one, bonus points to you, right? It's a critical aspect of student participation. That's the statement. Now, why is that important? Because that statement is going to drive your talking points. Okay, that's why we analyze this. Topic, claim. Every time you look at a prompt, topic, claim. The topic is the easy part. The claim, you got to focus a little bit. This is going to help you come up with the talking points that you're going to write about. Now, the claim is not advantage and disadvantage. That's the directions. That's what they're asking you to do. Okay, so we want to focus in on the talking points we have to come up with. Okay, now we're going to start our planning. Okay, we've got our intro, second paragraph, third paragraph, and conclusion. Now, first things first, we have to come up with, okay, we have to come up with, I'll get to your question here in a second, Sierra, okay? We have to come up with one advantage and one disadvantage. So you guys tell me that we have 2 talking points. That's all we're doing in this essay. This is not a 5-paragraph essay. 4 paragraphs will pass you if you do it the right way. So 1 pro, 1 con. So someone give me, and we want to be specific. Excuse me, advantage and disadvantage. Sorry, I said pro and con. Advantage, give me 1 advantage and 1 disadvantage. So what's one advantage? Let's start with advantage first. What's one advantage of using online learning to prepare students? Okay, a lot of people saying flexibility. Let's go with that. Flexibility. Easy. We just need 1. That's it. Convenience is a good one, Tamika. That's good too, but we just need 1. All right. So we got our advantage, and then let's come up with a disadvantage. Cheating. I like that one, Teresa. That one jumped out. We want to be very clear, specific, and to the point. Very clear. Okay. So let's go with the cheating one. I saw that one pop up first in my eyes there. Cheating. All right. So now we have our 1 advantage, 1 disadvantage. So you guys are all giving me good examples up there. So all we need is 1 for each. Now, before we move forward, I'm going to address someone's question because it's a very good one. And I kind of mentioned it at the beginning. You have 3 different types of essay prompts. Okay. And I talk about this a lot online. So 1 is essays that ask you to talk about strategy. All right. Like discuss strategies and how teachers can increase parental involvement in the classroom. Right? Strategy. Another one, that's number 1. Number 2 is perspectives. Like discuss your perspectives on teachers using ebooks in the classroom versus traditional textbooks, right? Discuss your perspectives. What does perspectives mean? What does it mean if I ask you to discuss your perspectives on something? Yeah, your view, your opinion, your thoughts. That's category number 2. Category number 3 is what I call compare and contrast. Compare and contrast. These are your pro and con, your advantage, disadvantage, and your benefit and challenge. They're all the same. They're all the same, okay? So you have strategy, perspectives, and pro and con, advantage, disadvantage, benefit, and challenge, like the one on the screen, or discuss the benefits and challenges of having a wellness program for public school teachers and administrators across the country, right? They're all the same. It's just the word that they use, all right? So to go back and answer your question, you said you've got an advantage and disadvantage. What about pro and con? It's literally the same thing. It's just a different word. Also, to keep in mind, and I mentioned this at the beginning, it doesn't matter what your prompt is. The format I'm about to show you here works for anything. So when people say, well, Dr. A, I did your course online, but when I went in there, it wasn't a pro and con essay. It was discuss strategy. I didn't know what to do. The answer is very simple. It's all the same. That's what the beauty is about the blueprint I'm about to go through with you. All right, that answer your question? I forgot the person's name who asked that question, but I want to make sure I didn't leave her behind. Kind of. Oh, so you asked me, what about a pro and con, right? Because I've seen that, or I've seen advantage and disadvantage. You asked me, what about pro and con? My answer is it's all the same format. It's just a different vocabulary word. That's it. All right, and I could discuss that more at the end too. So here's that blueprint. Here's that dry erase sheet again, okay? We're gonna go through intro, second, third paragraph, and conclusion. So what I want you to do is pull up that picture that I asked you to take with the blueprint. All right, so go ahead and pull this picture up again. Right, remember I told you to take a picture of it? Make sure you have it because we're gonna constantly be using this. Let's get rolling. Introduction. All we're doing on these notes right now is we're taking notes. And so we understand what it means in our head. We're just abbreviating it on here. And then when we're done, we're going to take all these lines and turn them into sentences. I know this is weird. This is different probably from what you do. Most of you guys probably don't even plan. But I'm going to teach you how to literally get it done the first try. Get in, get out, mic drop, and be done. So here we go. Introduction. Number 1. I put on the blueprint the words I use is your first sentence is your main topical transitional sentence introducing the topic, right? What's the topic of this essay again? What is the topic in 1 or 2 words? Online learning. So all my job is in sentence number 1 is to introduce learning online. Anything. It doesn't have to do with schools, doesn't have to do with kids, anything to introduce it. So I'm going to write something down in my notes like, so let's see here. Online learning. I don't want to get too technical here. So much. All right. Next, I wrote, sorry, my chicken scratch. So much info online to access, okay? Next, if we look at our blueprint item, number 2. Now you link the topic of this main topic to your prompt, okay? I'm gonna put down my transition wording I'm gonna use. Follow me, we're gonna talk about this all at the end. Since this is the case, that's my transition phrase, so I don't forget, I'm gonna write it down. Schools online. I'm just making notes, okay? Sierra, how, like, I gotta write each paragraph as per time. We'll get to that, Sierra. You're gonna see here, it's all relevant. What we're doing here applies to any type of prompt. Basic, yeah, I can't see your writing. Oh, no, you can see it now. Okay. So since this is the case, schools online. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna put this all together. Number 3, now we're gonna restate the claim of your prompt. So what was the claim that we said before? Anyone remember what the claim was? You guys, hopefully you wrote it down. Yep, critical aspect of student preparation. So, this is the case, goes online. This caused debate. I'm going to put down critical aspect of prep. I'm just putting notes down because I know what I'm going to do in my head when I expand it. Sentence number 4 is your thesis statement, okay? Transition word, this phrase, this is part of the blueprint. While there are many. I'm putting this down so don't forget when I actually write my essay. While there are many, we're going to put down our 2 talking points. The advantage that we wrote down that we wanted to talk about was, what did I say? I already forgot. Flexibility, advantage, flexibility. My disadvantage was cheating. All right, that's my plan for my intro. We're going to go through all paragraphs. I'm going to put it together for you, okay? Next, paragraph number 2. What's the purpose of paragraph number 2? What is the purpose of paragraph number 2? Yep, to introduce your advantage and provide supporting details to paint the picture, okay? So our advantage was that it has flexibility. So we have to introduce the concept of flexibility. If you look at your blueprint, paragraph number 2, right? Sentence number 1, lead off your second paragraph of the main topical transitional sentence, but this time, this main topical transition sentence is about your first talking point. So to break it down and make it simple, all you're doing is introducing the idea and the notion of flexibility. You're gonna see how this comes together. Just trust the process here. People have busy schedules. Done. Next, sentence number 2. Next, you introduce your talking point number 1, okay? I'm gonna write down 1 advantage. Then I'm putting down flexibility. Now, sentence 3, 4, and 5 are all statements that you're gonna do to back up and paint the picture on why flexibility is an advantage to doing online learning. So this is really the only part where the first time we were really getting creative and actually have to think about things to talk about, okay? So you guys tell me, what are some supporting details that we would use? Remember, that's to answer the question. The advantage of online schooling to prepare kids for the 21st century is you're stating as flexibility. What are some concrete things that we can talk about to back that up? Okay, so access materials 24/7. So I'll write 24/7 access. Maybe we give a little specific example. So 24/7 access to sites, materials, and tests, right? We want to be concrete and specific. What's another one? Oh, I like that one, Jennifer. They could work, the flexibility. In addition, I'm going to throw down a transition word so I know to use it. In addition, allows time for other work, like a job. Oops, uh-oh, my fault, my wrist hit it. Sorry about that. Hopefully it didn't, oh yes it did. Oh my Lord. Really? Oh, that's just my life right now. Look at that, it just deleted everything when I shut it off. Let's get back to this. Anybody take a picture of that? Let's go to paragraph 2. We can come back to paragraph 1. So what did I say? Well, that's frustrating. Let me write these here. Flexibility. Good thing is it's being recorded and I can take that mess up out of the way and fix it. Cheating. Busy schedules, we could expand on that. Advantage. Flexibility. What did I say before? What was my first supporting detail? I forgot already. Somebody remind me. What's the first thing we wrote down before I messed everything up? 24/7 access. Thank you. 24/7 access. Websites. Apps. Tests. In addition, work, okay. In addition, allows for work, and we can expand on that when we write. And last but not least is where a lot of people trip up, and this is not an option. You need text-based evidence as sentence number 5. So if you look at the blueprint I gave you that you guys took a picture of, sentence number 5 in paragraph 2. Wrap it up with your text-based evidence. This is a study, survey, book, article, stat. You're obviously making up. Okay, you're making this up. No one memorizes research and stats, right? Unless you're maybe a Jeopardy star. So let's say something like 2019 UCF study. %, students prefer online versus traditional. We'll put that all together and we'll talk about it. But that is a study, a research article, a survey, anything. You're making it up. When we put this all together and we write the whole essay, then we can kind of talk about it and pick it apart a little bit. All right? So that is the plan for the second paragraph. Let's back up real fast and let me write this down here. Catch myself up. Nowadays, people are online 24/7. Since this is the case, schools think online learning. And then we had the claim, which was, this is, let's back this up real fast. prepare students, critical aspect of preparing students. Cause debate. Critical for students. And then advantage. We wrote down flexibility. And then disadvantage was cheating. All right, so what's our goal in paragraph number 3? Thank you, Jennifer. Sole purpose of paragraph number 3 is to introduce the disadvantage and give supporting details. So I want to back up for a second here. When we go back to the introduction, this is a very important part, and we'll talk about this more when we write it all on the screen and when we kind of discuss it. Thesis statement is the last sentence, sentence number 4 in your introduction. It's so vital because you're telling the grader, hey, this is my advantage, this is my disadvantage. Why is that important? Because if you label flexibility as your advantage, guess what? The moment you talk about anything other than flexibility in paragraph 2 as an advantage to online schooling, you're done. You're gonna lose massive points. So you're kind of dropping the anchor and you're setting the stage. This is what I'm gonna talk about in paragraph 2. My disadvantage is in cheating. That's what I'm gonna talk about in paragraph 3. The number one reason why a lot of people keep failing their essay and they don't know why is they're not answering the questions and they're not following the rubric. For example, in my second paragraph, if I do any supporting detail that doesn't directly relate to flexibility as an advantage, you lose points. Okay, so you gotta keep it on topic. You're taking the grader on a journey from beginning to end, okay? Sierra, I see your question again. Once again, it's the same thing I talked about before. It's literally the same exact thing. You're just changing words. We'll talk about that more at the end, okay? But I get your concern, but you need to know that it doesn't matter what the prompt is, this is the format. It works every single time. So let's go to paragraph number 3. That's cheating. First sentence on the rubric, okay? Paragraph 3, it says, lead off your third paragraph with a main topical transition sentence, but this time your main topic transition sentence is about your second point. So our point is about cheating. We want to introduce the idea of cheating, okay? Anything. It doesn't have to be directly related to students or schools per se, anything. So I'm just going to throw down some thoughts here. Initial thoughts are, let's see here. Unfortunately, it's easy for people to cheat. All right. Second sentence, you're going to list out your talking point. So disadvantage, cheating. And when we write this, the next screen, I want to start putting all these down and write full sentences. Your second sentence is going to be, one disadvantage of having online schooling is that students cheat, period. So that's how the second sentence is going to be. So 3, 4, and 5 are my supporting details. So you guys give me, what are some things that we can talk about? Concrete, to the point, that discuss why cheating is a disadvantage for having online learning. Well, plagiarism is cheating, so we got to kind of be a little creative here. Ah, there we go, Laura. Now we're getting someone. So they're not actually learning the material, not learning material. Maybe say copying content. We want to be specific and give examples from sites. Ooh, I like that. Integrity. That's a good buzzword to use in here. Shows lack of integrity. We can say, i.e., cheating at jobs, possibly in the future. And then back to number 5. What's number 5 again? What's sentence number 5 say on the blueprint? Your stat. So we don't want to do a study again, right? Because we don't want to be repetitive. Let's see, let's do a survey, right? So I'll say 2020 survey by, let's say the FLDOE, you could see whatever. Let's see, 10,000 students surveyed. Let's make up 85% say they would cheat. Remember, I'm making this stuff up. As long as it's logical, it's fine. As long as it makes sense and it answers what we're talking about. If the paragraph is about cheating in online learning, your stat has to be about cheating in online learning. I know it sounds simple, but most people get it twisted and they don't do that. They'll just say something about whatever, according to a recent study, 80% of students do something else, right? They won't specifically mention cheating. Your stat has to directly relate to what was stated in that paragraph, not paragraph 2, not the introduction, exactly what's going on in that paragraph, okay? Now, conclusion. When we go to the conclusion, let's pull up our blueprint again. Sentence number 1 in the conclusion says, start your conclusion with a main topical sentence regarding the topic of the prompt. In quotation mark, in parentheses, I put similar to sentence number 1 in the introduction. What you're basically doing, your conclusion in a nutshell, is similar to the introduction. You're reintroducing the topic and you're laying out your 2 talking points you discussed and you're bringing it all together. That's it. You're not introducing new points. You're not putting supporting details. You're not throwing stats in there. It's very ordered. It's called a blueprint for a reason. We follow it and we're good. We deviate, no bueno, okay? So we want to reintroduce the topic in sentence number 1. So sentence number 1 at the top here, we wrote nowadays people are online all the time or 24/7. We don't want to say the same thing again. I'll say something like, the internet is a powerful tool, or we could say can be a powerful tool if used properly. Sentence number 2. Restate the claim of your essay, all right? So the claim was this is critical for the development of students in the 21st century. Critical for student development in 21st century. Next, what is 3 and 4? What does it say on the blueprint for 3 and 4 on the conclusion? Yep, all you're doing is listing talking point 1 and talking point 2. That's it. That's all you're doing. And you could throw in a transition word in there. Like, for example, we'll write online learning can be a, and sorry for my chicken scratch here, flexible option for students. Next one, however. Why do you think I'm writing my transition words on my plan? Why do you think I'm doing that? Exactly, Jennifer, so don't forget. Because in the heat of the moment, time's clicking away, all the pressures in your head, the anxiety, you want to make sure it's there so you don't forget it. That's why I keep telling you that this process, it's going to take you 20, 30 minutes when you do it the first couple of times. But when you get it down to that 10-minute range or less, that's when you know you're good. You don't have to worry about anything. All it is, we're going to take these sentences or these notes, turn them into sentences. So, however, this can lead to cheating. And then sentence number 5 on my blueprint says, sum it up by stating there are always many different ways. Advantages, disadvantages, pros, cons, strategies, perspectives, just depends on what the prompt is about. So we have to always focus on what works best in the long run for our students. So I'm going to say there are many advantages, disadvantages of online. I'm just going to continue down here. I'm going to write what, I don't have to write the whole thing out. just so I remember. What's best for our students? I know half of you probably can't understand what I wrote on the screen, but go ahead and take a picture of this right now. I'm going to do the same thing. No making fun of my handwriting. I'm a little neater when I use paper. But let's take a picture of this now that I just shut my camera off like a genius. There we go. And yes, this video will be on the YouTube channel by tomorrow. A couple of people saying the blueprint, we missed that. I'm gonna go back real fast. Here's the blueprint screen. You wanna take a picture of this? If you guys are already in my essay practice course, this is in there too as a download. I'm sure you already have that. JP, because it's easier just to handwrite, because we want to use the iPad as kind of like a dry erase sheet. So when you're in the testing center, you got to do the same thing in practice. But yes, it would make it a lot easier if I was just typing it. I like to do things in a difficult way when it comes to this. All right, did we get the picture of that? Back one slide. That slide? I don't think you want that slide. All right, so let's keep it moving here. Now that we have the plan, guess what time it is? It's time to write it. So have that picture of this screen with you. I'm gonna need this obviously too. My phone keeps shutting on me. All right. Let's write it out. This is the easy part. This is the easy part. If you plan the right way, that's the key. So just follow me now. Let me put this down on the table. Nowadays, comma, people are online at all hours of the day. And we're going to talk about this in detail here. Let's just make our sentences. Since this is the case, comma, schools, let me go back to the prompt here real fast. Schools are looking to move to online learning. That's sentence number 2. So we got 1, 2. Sentence number 3. We've got our claim here. This has caused a debate that this type of learning can be critical for student development in the 21st century. And yes, I'm using the same phrases from the prompt. You have to do that. All right, this is not a research paper. This is not, I'm gonna be creative as I can and change all the words. No, you're literally gonna answer the question, follow the rubric, follow the structure. Last sentence, paragraph number 1, sentence number 4 is our thesis statement. Here's my next blueprint item. I didn't write on my plan. While there are many advantages and disadvantages of online learning, students have more flexibility flexibility, can't spell anymore. Students have more flexibility, but on the other hand, they can cheat. We're gonna end it right there. Or if you want to get a little more fancy, you can say something like, but on the other hand, it opens the door for cheating, right? If you want to throw a couple extra words in there. So let me read this to you. We'll talk about this for a second before we move on, okay? Nowadays, people are online at all hours of the day. Since this is the case, schools are looking to move to online learning, right? So some people say, well, what the heck, that first sentence has nothing to do with schools or kids. We're introducing the topic. That's all we're doing. So for example, if my prompt was to discuss strategies on how teachers could use iPads in the classroom to increase academic achievement, right? Topic is iPads, right? First sentence could say something like, nowadays, people all over the world own an iPad, right? I know you might be thinking, well, not everyone does. Doesn't matter. They're not fact checking here. They don't care about your opinion and they don't care about your facts. You're just making a statement, okay? Prirana, and I do apologize if I mispronounced that wrong. That is a good question. The answer is no, you don't. Now, I know what I'm teaching you might go against something that someone else told you or videos you watched or study guides. I've helped thousands of people literally pass this exam with this blueprint. I am not telling you that this is the only way to write an essay. I'm just showing you what works, and it's proven to work if followed the right way. Now, there are some resources out there, or you might have learned, well, if it says advantages and disadvantages, you need to talk about 2 or 3 advantages in one paragraph and 2 or 3 advantages of the third paragraph. Guess what? You're most likely going to fail if you do that. Because if you look at the rubric, and we're not going over that in this webinar, but if you look at the grading rubric, one of the very distinctive categories is that you're providing supportive details and painting the picture to back up what you're saying. If you write 3 advantages in paragraph number 2, how the heck are you going to provide supporting details to back up each of those advantages? You're going to have a paragraph that's like 15 sentences long. So you need to have 3 supporting details, okay? So 3 supporting details to back up advantage number 1, 3 of them to back up the disadvantage, right? Same thing if it was the pros and cons. 1 pro, 1 con. Strategies, 2 strategies. Strategy number 1 in paragraph 2. Strategy number 2 in paragraph 3. Discuss your perspectives. 2. Okay? Like I said, I know because I've seen all the guides. I've seen all the videos. I know everything out there. I've been doing this longer than most of them. This is going to go against it, but it's successful. People start throwing too much information, you're done. This is not a I'm going to show how smart I am essay. No, it's I'm going to pass and move on essay. That's what it is. All right? So let me read this again to you. Nowadays, people are online at all hours of the day. Since this is the case, students are looking to move to online learning. This has caused a debate that this type of learning can be critical for student development in the 21st century. There's our claim. 4, while there are many advantages and disadvantages of online learning, students have more flexibility, comma, but on the other hand, they can cheat. Okay? Simple to the point. What did I do? Talking point number 1, talking point number 2. Clear to the point. Hey, grader, this is what I'm about to talk about. Buckle in, grab your popcorn. We're gonna get rolling. That's basically what you're telling them there. You're not putting stats in the introduction. You're not putting personal opinion. And more importantly, you're not taking a stance, right? There is no stance taking in this essay. So that's one of the things that go against some of the other resources out there. People wonder why they fail. There's no place to take a stance. If the essay prompt asked you for your opinion, like discuss your perspectives or to evaluate something, then it opens the door to say which of the certain talking points are more beneficial. And that's going to happen in the conclusion. But 90% of the prompts you're going to get do not open the door for your opinion. Where in this prompt does it ask you what your opinion is? It says analyze. Analyze. Look at both sides. If it said evaluate, then you might be able to get away with putting some of your opinion in there. All right? So paragraph number 1, introduce the topic, hit him with the claim, throw in the thesis statement. Now our job is to go to paragraph number 4. Yes, you're absolutely right. And I talk about that in my course when I break down the rubric. okay? They call it college level English. And we'll get into that when we get to the second and third paragraph, okay? All right, paragraph number 2. We're gonna talk about flexibility. All right, let's go back to our picture of our notes here. You guys are asking great questions, but unfortunately, the goal of this webinar is to plan and write. So if we start talking about that, we'll be here for 5 hours. But you guys have great questions. We'll talk about that more at the end. All right. Sentence number 1, on my plan, I wrote down, people have busy schedules. That's good. We can write something like that. People around the world all have, let's use your vocabulary. Oop, oh man, eraser. All have tremendously busy schedules. You like that? All right, next sentence. We're gonna hit him with the talking point. All right, this is where people drop the ball on this especially. You literally have to write one advantage of, and let's go back to the prompt, make sure I got it specifically. Okay. One advantage of this type of learning is that it offers flexibility for students. 1, 2. Literally, your first and second sentence are pre-written for you. There's no thought really going into these 2. 3, 4, and 5 are supporting details of when we put some thought in, okay? Yeah, people all over the country have busy schedules. You could say that too. Anything that introduces what's gonna come next, right? Flexibility. Flexibility, that's what we're gonna talk about, how flexibility is an advantage. So you're gonna see when we put this all together. All right. Let's get back to our notes that we wrote down. 24/7 access, website, apps, test. Online learning. Offers students 24/7 access to their let's say school, to their learning process. No, I don't want to say learning process. Online learning offers students 24/7 access to their materials for school, comma, such as class websites, applications, and exams. All right, so you see what we did in that sentence. Not only do we make our point that we wrote on our notes that online learning offers students 24/7 access to their materials for school, we want to give concrete examples. If you just say online learning offers students 24 access to their materials for school, period, that's kind of on topic, but it's not specific. We want concrete examples to paint the picture, right, as to why this is an advantage. It's an advantage, yeah, they get 24/7 access, but to what, right? Websites, applications, exams, whatever it is you want to interject into that sentence is fine, but we want those concrete examples. Okay, does that make sense? So for example, if we're writing an essay about discussing strategies teachers can use to increase academic achievement with iPads in the classroom, and let's say one of our strategies is that it increases engagement, right? In the paragraph, you could talk about examples like walking around the classroom and having kids do math problems on the iPad and project it on the screen, things like that. You want to paint that picture so there's no second guessing. All right, so let's go back to our notes. So we got number 1, we got number 2, we got number 3. Let's go to sentence number 4. We wrote on our notes, in addition, allows for kids to work because of the flexibility. All right, so we're going to write in addition. This opportunity allows older students, because obviously we can't say all students because kindergarten kids don't have a second job, I should hope, right? So in addition, this opportunity allows older students to have jobs outside of school, right? You could even, instead of that, you could talk about possibly that online learning might open up more schedules or opportunities for kids to participate in extracurricular activities, for example, like sports or whatever clubs, anything along those lines. Remember, everything in this paragraph has to do with what? What is everything we write in paragraph 2 must relate to? What topic? Yep, flexibility, that's the key. The moment you write anything that has nothing to do with how flexibility helps with online learning, right? You're going off topic, right? That is what they call interference. That's in the grammar section of your grading and your rubric. Interference, it's sentences that stop the flow of the paper. And they also fall into the structure category too, because you're not staying on topic in this paragraph. So that's a big reason why people keep failing this thing. Very specific, to the point, clear. Okay, now, last sentence is our stat. So we got number 3, we got number 4, number 5 is our stat. So what do we write down? 2019, okay, so according to a 2019 study conducted by, I'm going to write UCF, but just know that you have to spell out what you write. So I'm just going to write that because I'm running out of room on the screen here. So just know you got to spell it out. University of Central Florida, whatever school, university you want to use, school district. If you work for Palm Beach Public Schools, according to a 2019 study conducted by Palm Beach Public Schools, we're going to talk about this. So according to a 2019 study conducted by the University of Central Florida, let me pull up my notes, keep closing on me. 80%, what I write? 80% of students prefer online learning versus traditional. So 80% of students prefer online learning because it provides more time in their daily schedules. All right, let me read this to you and we'll talk about it. People around the world all have tremendously busy schedules. One advantage of this type of learning is that it offers flexibility for students. Online learning offers students 24/7 access to the materials for school, such as class websites, applications, and exams. In addition, this opportunity allows older students to have jobs outside of school. According to a 2019 study conducted by the University of Central Florida, 80% of students prefer online learning because it provides more time in their daily schedule. Now, let me ask you guys a question. A couple of questions here I want to talk about. Good question there. When we write numbers, we have to work. The rule is, if the number is 10 or below, you write it out. If it's above 10, you can use a number. So like 22%, you could write 22 in a percentage. But if it's 8, you got to write it out. That's the rule. That's like the APA rule, but obviously this is not graded on APA structure, but just a little side note for you, but that's a good question. All right, so a couple of things we want to talk about. Number 1, remember, one advantage. You don't start paragraph number 2. It irks me when I see people's essays that say, one advantage of online learning is flexible. They'll start off the paragraph, bam, right out of the gates. No, ease them in, paint the picture, take them on a journey. So there's no second guessing of what you're talking about, all right? So let me read the whole thing. People around the world all have tremendously busy schedules. I know I read it one more time. One advantage of this type of learning is that it offers flexibility for students. Online learning offers students 24/7 access to the materials for school, such as class websites, applications, and exams. In addition, this opportunity allows older students to have jobs outside of school. According to a 2019 study conducted by University of Central Florida, 80% of students prefer online learning because it provides more time in their daily schedule. Let's go to the stat first. My first question to the group is, what sounds better? According to a study, 80% of students prefer online learning, or according to a 2019 study conducted by the University of Central Florida, 80% of students prefer online learning. Which sentence? Yes, obviously the second one. Painting the picture. A lot of people say, Dr. A, why can't I just say according to a study? You can. I'm not telling you that's going to fail you, but it sounds better. You're painting the picture, right? Yes, Lee, you make up stats. You have to do this. This is what they call text-based evidence. Text-based evidence. Do not be like the teacher 3 years ago, and never forget. I'd asked him, how are you studying for the GK essay? He literally told me he spent 3 months memorizing educational research and studies so he knows what to write about. What? No, this is not Jeopardy. Make it up as long as it's logical and it makes sense. That's the key, okay? But if I'm telling you, and I'm warning you in the same sentence, if you write an essay full of your opinion, you're never gonna pass this thing. They don't care about your opinion. They don't care about your facts. They care that you answer the question and you follow the rubric. That's it. This is not a research paper. This is not a dissertation. This is literally what kids have to do in school. It's called FSA writing. You're not doing 5 paragraphs. We're going to do 4, right? But the same thing. For those people never taken the GK before, the GK is like, are you smarter than a 5th grader, right? No offense to people that failed. I'm not saying it's easy by no means, but think about that show. Why do the adults usually lose? Because the 5th graders on the show are in the 5th grade. You're required to showcase skills on the GK test that are kids between 4th and 8th grade are doing in school. That's grammar for ELS, reading, and math. The only exception is about 2 questions on math that are 9th grade level at standard deviation. But everything else is 4th through 8th grade. So this is what kids are doing in the school districts right now across the state. They're just doing 5 paragraphs, okay? So let's move on to paragraph 3, and then we're gonna read the whole thing together. Any questions on this paragraph, though, before I move forward? I know this is a lot in a short amount of time. I'm trying to give you as much as I can in 90 minutes here, because we're already at 4:05 already. And we're gonna read the whole thing at the end and kind of talk about it and wrap it up here. So paragraph 3, what's the purpose of paragraph 3? To introduce our disadvantage and give supporting details. So let's go back to our notes. I wrote, unfortunately, it's easy for people to cheat. Okay, you could do that. Unfortunately, people like to take shortcuts from from time to time. So I changed the words that like to cheat because I'm going to say the word cheat in the next sentence. So we don't want to go back to back repeating words like that, okay? So that's why I change it from our plan. So unfortunately, people like to take shortcuts from time to time. One disadvantage of online learning, because that's what's from the question in the prompt. So one disadvantage of online learning is that students can easily cheat. All right, so we got 1, we got 2. Done, bang, bang, blueprint. Next, on our notes, what do we write down? Not learning material, copying content from sites. This type of learning allows students to easily copy content from online thus not demonstrating that they actually learned the material. Remember, we're writing notes down, so we have the thoughts in our head that we can expand on them when we actually put those bullet points down on our essay. So the key with that planning process, I know it's different from what you usually do, but it really provides a foolproof plan so there's no stress of creation while you're writing sentences. You don't want to be a diver, and I know a lot of you guys, because I do this all the time, live for school districts. I know some of you guys are thinking, oh my God, this is 50 minutes. I'm just going to jump in there and write it. You don't want to be a diver, trust me. More than likely, you're going to fail because you got to make sure you structure it the right way. All right, so let's see here. That was sentence number 1, sentence number 2, sentence number 3. Our next one we wrote down shows a lack of integrity. We can say, let's see here. In addition, actually, did we say in addition the last one? Yeah, I don't want to say it again. You guys tell me, what's another transition word instead of in addition? Moreover, thank you. You already, look at that. You're ahead of me, Nikisha. I love it. Moreover. Moreover, comma. And I forgot to shut that off, to turn that phone off after a couple of minutes. Moreover, cheating can demonstrate a lack of integrity. Moreover, cheating can demonstrate a lack of integrity. And let's throw some little vocabulary. And transcend, ooh, spelled that wrong. Transcend into the workplace after graduation. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Guess what the 5th one is? Man, we're almost there already. Look at that. 5th one is our stat. So we don't want to do a study again. We wrote down survey. So let's say in a 2020 survey conducted by the Florida Department of Education. What did I write on here? 85% of the 10,000 students surveyed stated they would cheat stated they would cheat. Let's change that word. They would cheat if online learning took place at their school. Once again, I do apologize for my chicken scratch. All right, but I'm going to type this up and put this in that practice course for those people who have access to that. All right, so let me read all this to you. Unfortunately, people like to take shortcuts from time to time. One disadvantage of online learning is that students can easily cheat. This type of learning allows students to easily copy content from online, thus not demonstrating that they actually learned the material. Moreover, cheating can demonstrate a lack of integrity and transcend into the workplace after graduation. In a 2020 survey conducted by the Florida Department of Education, 85% of the 10,000 students surveyed stated that they would cheat if online learning took place at their school. All right, remember, don't just say in a survey, okay? We want to be specific. Who did the survey? How many students involved, right? You can say in the state of Florida, right? If you want to get fancy, right? I'm just kidding. I'm being serious, but I'm kidding, right? It's all about painting that picture. The more descriptive words you can use, the better. You just don't want to say, in a survey of students, 85% said they cheat if they had to do online learning. That's good. It's on topic, but what sounds better? When you paint the picture with the person doing the survey, how many students, where did it locate, okay? Amani, does the length of the essay affect the grade? You've got to answer the question and follow the rubric, right? That's it. So they don't count the words, they don't do all that stuff, but you cannot sit there and write 2 or 3 sentences in a paragraph. I'm teaching you this structure because it works, right? I'm not saying, like I said at the beginning, it's not the only way to write it. I know for a fact it works because I helped thousands pass with it. All right, so just the key is to practice. All right, conclusion. All right, let's bring this all together here. Oh, great, my phone's dying on me. So, all right, let me plug it into my computer here real fast. The iPad shut. I don't want my phone to shut. There we go. All right, conclusion. The internet is a powerful tool if used properly. We'll go exactly with that. The internet is a powerful tool if used properly. Remember, we're introducing the topic of the essay, which is online learning. Okay, next one. This is critical for students in 21st century. Oh, the internet is a powerful tool if used properly. This is critical for students in the 21st. Is a critical aspect student development. This is a critical aspect of student development for the 21st century. None. Done. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Restate the 2 talking points. So first one, online learning can be flexible for students of all ages. Online can be flexible for students all ages. However, that transition word, however, this can also open the door for cheating. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Last sentence. There are many advantages and disadvantages to online learning, but in the end, it is all about what works best for our students in the long run. And that same sentence, remember, it's all about a rubric, all about the rubric and the blueprint, okay? That last sentence is a blueprint statement also. It can be used on any essay. For example, if it was the pros and cons of vending machines in public schools, last sentence, there are many pros and cons of vending machines in public schools, but in the end, it's all about what works best for our students in the long run. Same thing, discuss strategies on how teachers can use iPads in the classroom to increase academic achievement levels. Last sentence, there are many strategies on how teachers can use iPads to increase academic achievement in the classroom, but in the end, it's all about what works best for our students. Same thing, can be applied to any prompt. That's the key I keep reiterating. So let's go back and read the whole thing, okay? And then we'll wrap it up. Nowadays, people are online at all hours of the day. Since this is the case, schools are looking to move to online learning. This has caused a debate that this type of learning can be critical for student development in the 21st century. While there are many advantages and disadvantages of online learning, students have more flexibility, but on the other hand, they can cheat, okay? Couple of notes here. If we say, while there are many advantages and disadvantages of online learning, you don't want to say one advantage is that students have flexibility, but on the other hand, one disadvantage is that they can cheat. What's the problem with that? If I start repeating advantages and disadvantages in the same sentence? Because I see some people do that a lot. Is that okay or not okay? What do you guys think? Yeah, not okay, because you're repeating, you're basically restating the same thing you did at the beginning of the sentence, so don't do that, all right? Paragraph 2, people around the world all have tremendously busy schedules. One advantage of this type of learning is that it offers flexibility for students. Online learning offers students 24/7 access to their materials for school, such as class websites, applications, and exams. In addition, this opportunity allows older students to have jobs outside of school. According to a 2019 study conducted by the University of Central Florida, 80% of students prefer online learning because it provides more time in their daily schedule. If I did not put that last part of that sentence in there and just stopped that they prefer online learning, period, you will lose points. Because the paragraph isn't about online learning, it's about flexibility in their schedules. So you need to make that apparent in the stat. That's very important. Unfortunately, people like to take shortcuts from time to time. One advantage of online learning is that students can easily cheat. This type of learning allows students to easily copy content from online, thus not demonstrating that they actually learn the material. Moreover, cheating can demonstrate a lack of integrity and transcend into the workplace after graduation. In a 2020 survey conducted by the Florida Department of Education, 85% of the 10,000 students surveyed stated that they would cheat if online learning took place at their school. The internet is a powerful tool if used properly. This is a critical aspect of student development for the 21st century. Actually, let's say online learning. See, aren't these little changes a lot easier doing it this way than writing it all and then going back and doing it? So it's just little minor edits. If you notice, I made 2 or 3 little changes along the way. So the internet is a powerful tool if used properly. Online learning is a critical aspect of student development for the 21st century. Online learning can be flexible for students of all ages. However, this can also open the door for cheating. There are many advantages and disadvantages to online learning, but in the end, it's all about what works best for our students in the long run. All right, before we wrap this up and I tell you how to practice, do we have any questions about any specific paragraph? So let's talk about paragraph number 1 first. Do we have any specific questions about this paragraph and what I wrote? What do you guys think? Should we write numbers in letters or numbers? Well, Fatima, I answered that before. If it's above 10, you could write the number. Below 10, write the word out. Silence is compliance, so I assume there's no questions here. I'm not sure how you found so the claim, Sherry, the claim is the statement in the prompt. It could be a problem, it could be a solution. So here, the statement is that this online learning, the topic, is a critical aspect of student preparation. So for example, if I said, discuss strategies on how teachers can increase parental involvement in the classroom, the topic is parental involvement, the claim is increase it, right? Discuss the pros and cons of vending machines in public schools. Topic, vending machines. Claim, they're in public schools, right? Let's see here, decide whether topic probably pick 2. No, you don't pick out of 2. There is no choices anymore. January 1st, 2019, they changed it. Last year, there are no choices. You get 1 and you have to write about it, okay? No, but I can write online language management line of words. Okay, well, you do the other type of essay too. We'll talk about that here in a second, all right? All right, so paragraph number 2. Any questions about what we wrote here? Remember, we took our notes and expanded on them. For example is good, Nikisha, you just don't want to use it more than once, right? Transition words are part of the structure that they grade you on. They don't count how many transition words that you use, but they want to see if you use them the right way. That's the key. You can go through an essay and use 2 or 3 of them, right? It just depends on what you're writing and how you're writing. Yeah, dry erase board, and then you type the essay on a computer. Commas is part of the grammar aspect. It's 20% of the grading. There are 5 things they'll grade you on. How do you use the stat? Students didn't learn them. Can you use a stat? Paragraph 3. Well, let's go to paragraph 3. Can you use well, you don't want to talk about the stat that students didn't learn. Someone want to answer that for them? So before I do it, someone asked the question, can I talk about in the stat how students didn't learn the material? What do you think my answer is going to be? No, why though? Yes, thank you, Jocelyn. The topic of the paragraph is cheating. So your stat must relate to cheating. If you don't, you're going to lose points. Okay, it's all about practice. This is a lot in a short amount of time. I get that. Right? All right. Conclusion. Conclusion, pretty straightforward. And to answer your question, yes, someone actually reads your essay and they grade you on it. They don't stop after the introduction and they stop there. I've heard a lot of crazy stories over my years going to schools and doing these presentations. Some people hear things and they just run with them. Like, they don't even grade it, it's a computer. All you have to do is write a good thesis statement and they'll pass you. No, they grade the whole thing. Marion, it's just about practice. One thing, it's timed. 2, if you're a slow typer, it's all about practicing at home. So nobody should be handwriting essays at home. You have to type it because you're typing in the environment that you're taking the test. So why would you handwrite? Plus, the way your brain works, it's a lot faster when you handwrite stuff versus when you type it. Just, I don't care if you're a fast typer, just the way your brain processes, it's extra time to work towards putting your fingers on the keyboard versus handwriting. So you want to recreate the testing environment as much as you can. Piranha, complex vocabulary. If you start filling your essay with good and well and great, you're not going to pass. That's part of the grammar aspect. They want to use, vocabulary. That's aspect number 4 of the grading rubric. They want to know that you don't repeat vocabulary words, but they also want to know that you use college level English, high level words, complex vocabulary. All right. So what do you guys think? Did we learn anything here? And I'll answer all your questions, obviously, right? I know I'm not trying to have my head go big, right? I just know that you obviously learned something, right? If you didn't learn anything, call me afterwards. I'd love to talk to you, right? So how do we practice? Here's the key part here. Some of you guys already have some of the tools to practice for your essay. So many of you guys don't know who I am. You just signed up for is free. Someone posted it in a group. I'm happy that you're here. This is a snapshot of the Learning Liaisons, the Learning Liaisons website. I'm gonna give you a quick tour. We're gonna wrap up here in about 5 minutes. You're going to give me 5 minutes of your time. Here's the website, thelearningliaisons.com. When you signed up, you probably didn't sign up on the website, you signed up on the registration form. So if you go to the website and you click on the FTCE button, it's gonna take you to a page like this. GK Subject Area Professional Ed Test. You wanna click on the GK test. I took a snapshot here. We've got essay resources. Here where the good stuff comes, okay? Well, I got an essay boot camp where I talk about the rubric and the blueprint and write an essay in line by line. And I've got an essay recordings class where there are 11 prompts. I'm gonna add this one to it, where I plan and write, just like I did here for you today, 11 times. And you can ask me questions in the course. And I have all this, and you can actually submit an essay to me to get graded. I bundle all of these all together. So what I'm gonna offer you guys, this is on my website too, but since you guys are here and you're here for the essay, there's a code on my website. It's stay at home. I've had this going for a little while since schools have been closed. 50%. So how do we practice? Here's the thing I need to explain to you guys, right? It's great that you're here. It's free. I'm here to help you. But there's a lot that goes into the essay, and I do a separate 5-hour class at schools just for the essay. Writing is important. Practicing writing is important, but I don't care if you write an essay every day for 2 months. If you're not doing it the right way, you're just practicing bad behavior. So I don't care if English teachers or people tell you, ooh, your essay looks good. No, you need to make sure you nail everything the first time so it's done correctly. That's so important to practice the right way, not bad behavior, but good behavior. So I have several options on my website that are all 50% off. I have a boot camp where I go over the specifics and the blueprint. I have practice prompts like I just did here 11 times. And then I have an option where you can submit an essay to me, or we do a video review of it and we talk about it and I explain all the good and the bad things and how we can improve it. So this is something you might want to take a picture of. Stay at home, works on anything on the website. So if you need all sections of the GK, I definitely would suggest that you use that code and you can get access to all of our GK courses. That's our ELS, Math Bootcamp, Reading Bootcamp, my strategy course, everything. And that course works on anything on the website until May 1st for all the exams. We got Pro Ed, subject area exams, K through 6, everything. Yep, everything on here is all 50% off until May 1st. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. We also have a live session we're doing online, an all-day GK session on May 29th. That's on the website too, right on the homepage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it on this page. I'm going to circle back and answer all the questions you guys have. I'm not going to run off here, so just want to make sure I answer everything. But the key is I want to give you guys the opportunity during this time when you guys are at home. Please make sure you take advantage of this because, like I said, study guides are a major reason for people failing. I've seen them all. It's just all about how you use them. And a lot of people waste money on all. I know all the popular ones, trust me, I've seen them all. It's not about memorization, ladies and gentlemen. It's about just when it comes to the essay, it's about understanding conceptually what they're looking for and having a plan. And I just delivered to you a quick example of a plan. If practiced the right way, will pass every single time. That's the key. There are no books. We don't sell books here at the Learning Liaisons. I never will plan on making books because that is a big problem and why people fail, because you don't want to go memorize stuff, memorize questions. You want to have everything in front of you, video format. It's interactive. You can go on there, do it on your smart devices, do it on your computer, wherever you want, and it's authentic. We don't teach from books. We don't really promote books. We want to be there for you and hold your hand to make sure you knock this thing out on the first try. All these courses on our website, you can ask questions in them to the instructors as well. We're here for you 24/7, but obviously we got to sleep some hours during the day. So I can't make people stay up all night to answer your questions, but we always answer your questions in the course as well. Let me circle back to some of these Q&A questions. I might have answered some of them. Sierra, yeah, we talked about that before. I don't know what is GK. I have to take practice core writing, reading. Oh, so you're a praxis person. Yeah, this is GK stuff. This is a different exam. So there is a practice core writing exam, but it's not similar prompts to this. It's similar kind of rubric, but different. We have a writing course we just launched 2 days ago on our website. And the good news, you can use that code on there to take 50% off that course. Shari, I answered your question there for that. Adeline, how many times during the day should I practice? It's all about consistency. Don't sit there and write an essay every day. If you want to practice real time, yeah. But first work on planning. Take a couple of prompts, plan. Just practice the plan, that's it. Work on it. Work on getting your plan down to around 10 to 12 minutes. At first, it's going to take you longer than that because it's new. But once you get good at it, get it down to 10 to 12 minutes. Then work on writing. Write a paragraph at a time, right? But if you want to recreate that testing environment, yeah, set your timer for 50 minutes. And I talk about that in my essay bootcamp too, how to do that. But yeah, you want to recreate that testing environment as well. But to answer your question, don't sit there and write a full essay every single day because you're going to want to shoot yourself in the head also, right? You want to break it up, be consistent. I answered that question about length of the essay. Can we add more points? No, you don't want to do that, Priyana. You don't want to start talking about 3 or 4 advantages. No, you want to stick with one and paint the picture. They want to know supporting details. Why is that an advantage? Or why is that a good strategy? Or what's your perspective on that talking point? They want to see that you can formulate a thoughtful response, not just list a bunch of advantages, okay? Z, can I use the same blueprint with my art subject or exam? I don't know. Do you have to write an essay on your art? I'm not familiar with that exam. If you have to write an essay, it's pretty much probably the same grading rubric. The only thing that's really different is if anyone here has to take their English 5 through 9 or their English 6 through 12, it's totally different. A lot of people ask me that. They give you text or poem or a paragraph and you have to analyze it, right? So this is very different. On test day, aside for the prompt, we'll receive, no, Roddy, you will not get any resources. You make it up. They literally put one prompt on the screen and you have to write about that. So it's all about practice, right? What do you say about you? For example, as an example, JP, the code works for everything. We got Feely, we got amazing Feely course. A lot of universities require that course. You can use the code for that as well. Math 5 through 9, yep, it's all on the screen right here. I didn't put Feely on there because I assumed that people here weren't here for the Feely. Tamika, that course is the course review recordings. So if I back up, GK essay video review. Oh, wait, sorry, that's not it. Sorry. GK essay prompt writing. That's the name of the course. Is easy to close. Easy to close together. And I'm not sure, Eric and Gary, I'm not sure what your question is. If you want to throw it in the chat box, I'll be happy to attack that for you. Sierra, I answered that question. Great insight, I appreciate it. All right, let's go to the chat box here. Can you go back to the slide with the blueprint? Yep, I could do that. And once again, if you guys are in any of my essay courses, like the essay boot camp or the practice prompt course, the blueprint is in there as a nice PDF for you to download, but I'm sure you guys already downloaded that. I have a ticket for May 27. Do you know the testing of that? Good question, Neri. Listen, I know it's frustrating. I did some YouTube videos on this recently. People are, I had a person yesterday that drove 2 hours to the testing center and it was closed. She got a refund, but she still went there. No one emailed her that it was going to be canceled. So first off, check your banking accounts if you paid for the test to go to May. If you see a refund come back, then don't go. I know they should send you an email canceling it. I'm not the state. I'm not Pearson. Sometimes things are going crazy right now. So just know this is based on what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing. If you have a testing date within the next week or so, or I should say the beginning of May, the first half of May, odds are it's probably going to get canceled. I'm not the state. I don't know what's going on. But it's all really going to determine on what the governor says come the end of this month. Because if you guys live in Florida, you know May 1st is when the stay at home, whatever they're calling it was. So once we get closer to that, if he turns around and says June 1st, guess what? They're not going to open the testing centers. If they did, I'd be very surprised. But think about it logically. If the state is stay at home, then they're not going to open the testing centers. Now, I will say we do work with the Praxis exams. There's some talk from that company that they might be doing stuff online. So who knows, maybe Pearson will offer the test online to do from home, but if they do that, the test is going to be harder. I'm just going to let you guys know that. That's how they do that. So I'm not saying they're doing that in Florida, but word is for some of the other states, they are doing that. But once again, I don't want to go in too many different circles and confuse people. Pay attention to if the governor extends the stay at home. If they do, then obviously those testing centers aren't going to open. Yeah, I know. I know. I'm here to help though. Does the essay prompt stay on the screen during the, you can toggle back and forth to it. The timer's on the screen too. You could shut the timer off. Twyla, I go over in detail in the course, the grading rubric. I mean, I could tell you what it is, but you really need to see examples of it. I mean, they look at the main idea, meaning do you answer the prompt? They look at your structure. They look at your point of view. Do you stay in first person? Do you stay in third person? They look at vocabulary. Do you repeat vocabulary? Do you use college level English? And the fifth one is grammar, right? And part of grammar is interference, meaning do you have sentences that just stop the flow of your paper? Like in college, did you ever read something you wrote and go, wait a minute, let me start that paragraph over again? It doesn't make sense. that's interference. The code online, guys, is all capital letters. So if you put it in lowercase, it's not going to work. It's all caps. So stay at home. I'll go back to that screen. Stay at home, all capital letters. If you need all 4 subtests, I would get the GK course bundle, right? Because that includes the essay bootcamp. ML, MJ, the bundle includes all the subtests. Yeah, you could ask questions in the courses. You'll see in the directions in each course is, we call it a discussion tab. You can post questions that go straight to our email. When you register, you'll get access to our private Facebook group. We could also post questions in there as well. If you want a live lesson, look at the homepage on our website. On May 29th, we're doing a live session. We're doing it for a college, but we're also inviting the public too if they want to register. That's going to be an interactive session like this all day from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. online. But that's right on the homepage. It says right on the homepage, if you scroll down in big bold, May 29th online GK session. If you sign up for that, you get the bundle. You get all the courses are included with that. But that's not 50% off because that's a live session. Yeah, Sherry, tell your college. I work with a lot of colleges and school districts. Obviously I'm not traveling now, but during the school year, every week I'm on 2 or 3 different schools. So let your college know. I'll be happy to do stuff online. Even if they want like a short little webinar and something, we can do that for them. Just let them know. They can come to my website and contact me. Remember, stay at home is all capital letters. Anyone have any other questions I didn't answer? I'm trying my best to circle back to all of these. Erica said maybe go, yeah, actually someone said today in the group that we're driving 2 hours to Georgia to take the test because you know Georgia lifted their stay at home. So if you can get in the test, depending on when you live in Florida, obviously. Michelle, I have your VIP package. Essay prompt is in there. The VIP is a year access. Just shoot me an email and I'll look at your account. Send me an email so don't forget. Can you show them where in the website? So if you go to the website, this is the home page, and you click on that, a little slow there, on the FTCE button there, or on the top where it says FTCE. It's going to take you to a page with the 3 different exams. Click GK, General Knowledge, and the page is cut off. The top page, but right here, it'll say Bundle and Save. That's going to take you to the GK Bundle page. No, Anna, there's no minimum words or maximum words. You just got to answer the question in a clear, cohesive way. But remember, I've said it at the beginning. I say it all the way through all the essay courses. This is the one subtest that people push to the end or don't even prepare for because they think, oh, I used to write papers in college in my sleep. This is easy. And they get smacked in the face and they fail and they get mad. Like, you can write perfect, grammatically correct sentences, the best sentences ever written, and still fail if you're not following the rubric and you're not answering the question. It's very easy not to answer the question on this. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you guys should have gotten a text message already for an anonymous survey. We always love looking at the feedback to see how we can fix things if there's anything wrong. We're not perfect. We're always working every week to make our stuff better. For instance, next week we're rolling out with a new GK reading boot camp. Sarah Hall, our reading specialist, is actually in the other room recording that right now. So we're always doing stuff to make things better for you guys. Oh, okay, Jennifer, thanks for pointing that out. I'm gonna have to go and change that setting on there. I could change that, but I appreciate you going to try to do it. And Ferelli, I do recognize your name for your email. I got your essay you sent me the other day. So I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna work on that this weekend. I know we've been going back and forth. If you get the bundle or you sign up for the revision, it's 1 essay. So you send me the essay, right? You send me the essay, I'll do a video of it, I'll record it, I'll edit it for you in real time, send you the recording, and if you have any, with the edits, and if you have any questions, we can talk on the phone as well. Number of questions a minute. Essay, one essay, 50 minutes. ELS, 40 questions in 40 minutes. Reading, 40 questions in 55 minutes. And math is 45 questions in 100 minutes. So you're talking about a 4 to 5 hour test. All right, I got 4:45 right now. I'm gonna hang out here for a couple more minutes. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Just know, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to upload this video hopefully by tomorrow to our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe if you didn't do so already. And I really suggest that essay practice prompt. That's pure practice, 11 prompts, just like I did here. That's that and the boot camp together. Great combination when it comes to the essay. Prompt again? Sure. Do it the easy way. I'm making life difficult here. There you go. The practice prompt is not in the GK bundle, it's in the VIP bundle. The VIP bundle gives you access to all of our FTC courses. So GK, subject area, professional ed, even our new reading K through 12 course. So if you guys didn't know, on a side note, that one's next week. You definitely want to sign up for that. Most likely, especially if you're an elementary school teacher, you have to get your reading endorsement now. They changed the laws a couple months ago. So you don't have to do the 300 hours of coursework at your district. What you have to do is pass the reading K through 12 test. It's difficult, but we created a very extensive K through 12 boot camp course that goes over all the content and practice questions in the course. If you get the VIP bundle, you'll get that as well. All right, any other slides you guys want me to filter to before I shut it down? Remember, I'm going to put this on Facebook, on a YouTube channel, hopefully by tomorrow. Paragraph 3. And if you purchase the practice prompts course or you already have it, I'm going to work on typing this up and putting this video in that course too to be the 12th prompt. So that'll happen early next week though. So I have all types of prompts in there, pros and cons, strategies, perspectives, benefits and challenges. I made sure I covered all the different ones. It should be here for a year, Teresa. Shoot me an email. Shoot me an email. I'll check it out. If it did expire, I'll start it over for you. It's not a problem. Conclusion. Sandra, the last sentence is kind of like that call to action, bringing it all together, right? You're just making a statement. Here's the thing that I don't want you to do in the conclusion. A lot of people do this, is they take a stance. I've seen videos on YouTube where people say, always take a stance. No, the answer is no, don't always take a stance unless they ask you. Like if it says evaluate, right? Like evaluate the pros and cons of vending machines in public schools. Well, evaluate means like a principal evaluates you, the good, the bad, and how to improve. So then you open the door to give some kind of stance at the end. This is just a blanket statement that's bringing everything together and stating, hey, there's advantage and disadvantage, but when it's all said and done, it's all about what is best for our kids in the classroom. And that can apply to pretty much every prompt, unless it talks about administrators or things that, you know, you get the point. It just depends on what the topic of the essay is. And remember, when you see this on YouTube, go ahead and share this. Share this on your pages, share with your teachers and friends. It gives them a good insight on the expectations of nailing this thing on the first attempt. I've already got webinars on there for professional ed, GK math. I got some other ones for the essay. We got reading on there, so a lot of cool stuff for you. MLMJ, yeah, if you want to give me a call, I'd be happy to talk to you, answer any questions you have. I am the rep, so my phone is right here. But give me a little time here. If I'm not able to answer it, I will call you back as soon as I can, but I'll definitely call you back today. Evaluate, like Joy. So if a prompt says evaluate something, like evaluate the pros and cons of having vending machines in public school, think about what the word evaluate means, right? The word evaluate, the PowerPoint shut down again. The word evaluate, think about it out of context of the essay. What does the word evaluate mean in the dictionary, right? It means to look at the good and the bad and how to improve, right? How to improve on something, like a principal evaluates you in the classroom. So you got to think of it that way. So what does that mean to yourself? Well, good and bad and how to fix. So that's kind of why I say that would open up to take a stance at the end. Anybody else have any comments, questions, concerns? Awesome. Well, I do appreciate you taking time on here today. Hopefully you got some value out of this session. Look for the recording by tomorrow on the YouTube channel. Feel free to share that. Just make sure my goal is I want to make sure people stop the bleeding before it starts, because only 39% of teachers pass the thing on the first attempt. So that's because people just don't prepare the right way or think it's going to be easy. So this one is a very close second to math when it comes to people failing, believe it or not, because they put it on the back burner and they don't take it seriously because they think that they can write in college, which they can, but this is a different ball game. So make sure we prep smart. And always remember, it's when you pass, not if you pass your certification exams. So peace out. I'm going to shut down the room. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. When you registered, I sent you email, so you have my email. So feel free to text me, email me, give me a call. My number's on the top of the website. It's 407-797-1499. 407-797-1499. I'm tied up right at this moment, but I definitely will give you a call back if you wanted to talk today. So you guys have a great rest of your night. I'm going to shut this down and keep prepping smart, and we're always there for you. You guys have a good rest of your Friday and a great weekend.
When you pass, not if you pass.